Alright guys, tag time. Tag by RetrogamerVX. And this is the as British as RetrogamerVX tag. So I've got a couple things to do, a British accent, and then some questions and answers. So here we go. It's not my cup of tea. That's what I have to say. Now, let's see. What is the first question here? I hope I didn't mess these up. Have I ever bought a good game and then it turned out to be, you know, a pile of dog turds, he asked. I was thinking, about what games I bought. The number one game that sticks out in my mind was when I was in the first, I was probably in the second or third grade. I got, and I've said this before in a video, but I got a good grade on my scorecard in school, my report card. So we went to Grandpa Pigeon's, and I bought a game called Defender of the Crown for the NES. Being a little kid, I hated that game. I appreciate the game now for what it is. It's a good game, a decent game, I should say. But when I was a kid, I hated that game. So my mom, we took it back. The game I got instead of that was a game called, I believe it was called Silent Service. It was the submarine game, and I was equally as displeased when I got that game. It was just terrible, and I don't know if I took that one back or not. I don't know if I returned that. I couldn't really tell you what I did. But there was I just remember looking for like a decent game at the store that day, and there was, at Grandpa Pigeon's obviously, and there was nothing. So, as a little kid, that really disappointed me. Defender of the Crown, Silent Service. Hated those games. Oh, as a kid, really upset. Alright. More tea, Vicar. Now, what does my family think of my games? They don't really care. They don't have any interest in what I do at all, so I'll tell my mother about, things that I do in the game, where all the stuff. Don't really talk about YouTube at all. My mom, she knows stuff I find. I might say, when I talk with her, she asks me what I'm doing, I'll tell her things I find at Goodwill, but and then other than that, I might talk to my brother about the stuff, but yeah, they're all doing their own things. I'm doing my thing, so we just keep it at that. And, I do so much other stuff that, like my running and my organizations with running, helping out and stuff, that when it comes to video games, it's kind of just like an isolated time. That's why I'm trying to find as much time as I can by myself doing it, because it basically is like my hobby. I don't really, the only other person in my direct family who cares about video games is my uncle down in Florida. So, and that's good for my behalf, because everybody, is like, oh, Uncle Victor, it's like my dad always says, my brother, neurologist, he's been my uncle for 28 years. I know he's a goddamn neurologist, okay? You don't need to tell me every time you try to comment on your brother, So lucky for me, the person that my family holds so high and mighty, luckily he's got the same interests as me, so that's great on my behalf. So if I were to be shunned for video games, I've got, at least there's other people who are a lot more successful than me who have the same hobby. So it just goes to show, because people in my family, they don't get out much. They don't really know. Except my mother does. She's in the plant industry, so she knows what's hip and hype. But other than that, they don't really. My family doesn't care about the game. So and then I like it that way. All right. We are not amused. Now, did I have to return a game ever because, something, well, I don't know if it has to be because I didn't like it or what, or it was a defective product. There was a case with two things here. I had bought R-Type Command for the PSP, like right when I got the PSP in August of '08, because I got a War PSP, got R-Type Command. I thought it was going to be a cool R-Type shooter, and it wasn't. It was some strategy game. I said, okay, I'll give this a try. I went to pop it in, and inside the disc, the disc inside the plastic PSP was completely cracked. So I'm like, oh, you know, and I bought that from GameStop. You know, that was one of the last things I ever bought from GameStop. And I was like, oh shit. Well, I brought it back there. I told the girl, I was like, you know, I told her exactly what happened. Like, there's no, besides there being a big crack in here, you know, this game is not at all what I expected. I wanted an R-Type game, and this is a strategy game. So she swapped it out right away, and I think I got Castlevania Dracula X. So, I haven't really ever had problems returning anything. I have a very high charisma level, and can very easily cajole anybody behind a counter when it comes to returning stuff. I upgraded my iPod for 5 years, almost. Well, it wasn't like 5 years. This was like 2 or 3 years. I kept upgrading my iPod. First one I got, I turned it back when the 20 gig color came out. I had the 20 gig color for exactly like 31 days. It was a day after 30 days. Took it back to Best Buy right when the color video came out, 30 gigs. So for the same price I got, for no price difference, I just was able to swap it out, get 10 more gigs and a video. Then after that, I ended up trading that one again, like, I think it was, I had a 2-year on that one. I took it back, and none of the stuff was covered. It was just really easy to turn that stuff in and take it back. So for me, you know, I don't like to return things at all, and I will not do it unless I absolutely have to. But it's not hard for me to. I do not mind getting into parlay with somebody and getting what I want. Alright, we're at 7 minutes. Needless to say, I don't like video games like that. I see a lot of these video games where you choose an option. You know, if I want to do that, I will go to the grocery store and I will interact with humans. You know, I'm not gonna. That doesn't interest me yet in the video game. Alright. That bloke's a nutter! Alright, what kind of warm-ups do I have for video games? If I'm trying to get a high score, I don't have any warm-up whatsoever. My strategy is I catch the game completely off guard. I'll just be doing something else and bam, I'll pop a game in. I'll be like, you know, okay, let's play a game and I'll pop Millipede in or something. Go for it, go for the high score, and usually that's when I start setting my highest score records. It's when I'm not practicing. It's not my second or third or fourth game in. It's the first game when I just pop that game in and start playing it. I usually rack up the highest scores then, so I really don't have any warm-ups. I don't have any little special things I do. You know, I just catch the game off guard, and that usually works. Sometimes there are some games where I need to practice a little, like fighting games or whatever. But yeah, games with reaction and speed, and it's all about just speed and reaction. I need to catch it off guard. It helps me a lot. So, all right, that's RetrogamerVX's tag. I got it done, and well, have fun, guys.
Peace.